Alright, and here we are in round 2. I won the die roll, so I will play first. I'm going to go ahead and keep this. I do have all 3 of my colors. I have this one Miracle card, which unfortunately is already like a mulligan. But I do like having a sweeper to begin with, as well as a few removal spells, so we'll go ahead and keep. The important thing for me is that I actually have all 3 colors this time around. So depending on what I play here will depend if I play the Syrian Spear or not. There's a decent chance I'm going to kill the Experiment 1. It's a creature that becomes more difficult to deal over time. However, I think I might actually see what I can do with a Magma Quake. I'm not sure why my opponent didn't attack there. I do have an extra land, so I think I'm actually going to just let it flip. It can deal 2 damage to me, you can attack for maybe 4 next turn, depending on what he plays. And that'll, if he plays another creature, that'll let me get a lot more value out of my Magma Quake. Which, in standard and small card pool format, being able to get the card advantage by something like this is just huge. So I mean, when I play my Magma Quake next turn, I will be getting 3 or 4 for 1, because I'm going to wait until his turn, and then set it off. Sorry about that. At this point, I'm already facing down enough that I don't want to wait until I reach another mana, and it doesn't do anything extra against his board at the moment. So, another thing is I've hit enough mana that I can actually play the War Leader's Helix. The only thing I can't play right now is that. I'm guessing if he'd had something, he would play it post or pre-combat. If he has Blood Rush, I don't want to play it to stop the Magma Quake from working. So, I'm going to go ahead and just Magma Quake for 2 now. So with Burn, you obviously want to just play sorceries as soon as you can, for the most part. At the end of his turn, I'll probably Fire him, Undeath him. Then that's just generally, as per usual with any deck, you want to play your instants at the end of your opponent's turn, as long as it makes sense that way. There's no point in me paying the 2 life. I mean, that means I could play Thunderous Wrath, but I could also play War Leader's Helix or Syrian Spear. In this case, I think I'm going to play the Syrian Spear. It's just, with War Leader's Helix, I might want to kill a creature that can kill a larger creature. And here we have one of my win conditions that I added in here as, not necessarily a burn card, obviously, but a card that can win a game on its own. And it's a late game card. As I've mentioned several times, the pool in Standard means you have to add cards like this to have the end game, especially since Standard's filled with so many more creatures. Just to live to the point you can kill them, you have to use burn on creatures often enough. that you need cards like this. At this point, there's no point in me playing the Archwing Dragon. I can snap him for 5. With the Thunderous Wrath at the end of turn, so. And there's no blocks here. I mean, that actually lets him eat enough damage. Between the 5 here and the 3 with those, plus that, I'll be able to kill him next turn unless he plays something else. Alright, and there's just another card that, I mean, 9 out of multiple ways to make sure he's dead this turn. And there's game 1. So it looks like he's just playing a Naya build with a few, maybe with an unconditional, or less than normal card. I think here I just want more sweepers. I don't know how helpful Pack Rat will be in a game like this. Same with Toil and Trouble. I think the first cards I'm going to pull out, though, are going to definitely be these Brimstone Volleys. With this kind of deck and the amount of mana Brimstone Volley costs, it's so rare that I'm able to get the requisite number. I'm also going to pull out the Reforge the Soul, as it'll just give him more gas. And so if I don't have the Sweeper to counter his gas, Reforging the Soul will be a bad idea. And my opponent decided to play first. I'm missing a color, and we already seen how that went last round. However, I do have a sweeper, and as well as a few early plays, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this. I'm on the draw as well, so I have another opportunity to get another mana, hopefully white, obviously. That's definitely not what I wanted to see right then. Another card that's very useful here is the Flames the Firebrand, as it'll be able to take out anywhere from 1 to 3 of his creatures. I really think multiple, or the card advantage generated by those is what you need to win with a burn standard. For the moment, I don't have much reason to kill anything. I'm also going to save my spear. I'm not going to throw it at him quite yet. If I draw another land, which I did, I think here I'm actually going to play the Sacred Foundry and then use the Flames of the Firebrand. I don't want to use the Magma Quakes just for a 2-for-1 at this point. So I think doing a 2-for-1 with this is fine. I am really curious what my opponent's deck is full of, since the last game I only saw Experiment 1's a Wolf-Witten Captain and 1 Burning Tree Emissary and a bunch of lands. He doesn't seem to have quite as luck with lands this time. Quite as bad of luck with lands this time around, so. Like I said, I'm curious what else is in his deck. And there we have Magic Online freaking out quite a bit. Here I'm fine just playing Bump in the Night. I don't think I've ever saw him play any black mana, so I don't think he'd be playing Lingering Souls, or he could be playing Midnight Haunting, which unfortunately both my sweepers do not hit flying creatures, which makes me mildly regret having used the Flames of the Firebrand like I did. This is a card probably no one's ever seen outside of Limited. Alright, in here, just once again, I want to hope for land. Not the land I wanted to see. At the end of his next turn, if I don't have to Syrian Spear something, I will probably just play the Boros Charm to his face. So here, I can use a Syrian Spear to save myself 4 damage, which is probably the better choice. I mean, I do have a Warleader's Carrick, so at this point I go down to 6. Yeah, I'm actually okay just taking that. As I'll be able to gain 4 and go back up to 10. I'll use the Helix later. It was very strange that he played that main phase. Not that it matters for me, but just an odd habit to do it. One's going to just wait until his turn to do the Magma Quake. He could play another creature, or he could try to Dyna Charge creatures again. So when you have these limited card pools, I guess you'd probably have to consider playing Burn is actually more of a controlling game. As you've noticed, I've spent a lot of time making sure I kill his creatures. There's just not the raw efficiency needed to ignore creatures completely. And there I played the Archwing Dragon as opposed to, say, the Warleader's Gate, just because it was an opening that I knew I had. And right now, I'm not concerned about anything he's playing. However, at this point, I think I will actually wait. I'm not sure what he could have in his hand. I mean, if he had, for instance, a creature plus a Rampager, the Gore-Clan Rampager, the +4/+4 Trampler, I would be in a very awkward position. And here I'll just Magma Quake again. And it's important to know when you're doing that. Like, I played at the beginning of his combat simply because that meant that he couldn't just blood rush it. So unless my opponent plays something very amazing here, I will have this win and the match completed. Alright, I believe that means I will win. Alright, well, thank you for watching, and we will see you in round 3.